السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another live broadcast, as always, on Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're trying to go live, alhamdulillah. And let us start with the quick link for the call. I'll send you the link for the call, inshallah, for the interview mode. And you guys can basically call in and ask your question. Please, one question per person, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. One question per person, inshallah. And alaikum salam. Please start sharing the link for other people to join, as we want to benefit them as much as possible. Let me know if everyone can hear me well. Connection is not the best as I'm traveling, but inshallah, hopefully it's going to be good enough today to hear your questions. Let's remind you guys with the super chat, I can see your questions faster and address them on super chat. Plus, you're supporting the dawah, inshallah, and you're helping us. Also, you can join on the membership program for the YouTube, inshallah. So let us now, 1 second, I'm gonna hit the Instagram up to make sure people are aware, inshallah, that we are live. Bi'idhnillah ta'ala. We got our first caller up, inshallah. And let me put this on Facebook as well. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Brother Ibrahim is calling. Again, guys, please keep it to one question, please. May Allah bless you. One question, please. All right, let me just share quickly on Facebook as well. And we are good to go. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Bismillah. Here we go. All right. For sisters, please do not reveal your face. Just keep it no camera. You can ask a question. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Bismillah. Also, if there's any delay, please do talk and ask your question. I can hear it. Go ahead, brother guest. You can ask your question. Bismillah, guys. Assalamu alaikum. No name. This has no name. You can unmute yourself and you can ask your question, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Gabriel.
Wa alaikum salam.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I had two questions. They're kind of related to each other, so I'm gonna ask the first question. So there's this hadith that says,
no name. This has no name.
Yeah.
You can unmute yourself and you can ask your question, inshallah.
I did unmute myself.
Wa alaikum salam.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Continue.
I had two questions. They're kind of related to each other, so I'm gonna
not sure
ask the
why.
first one. So there's this hadith that says,
no name. This has no name.
Yeah.
You can unmute yourself and you can ask your question. Yeah, I'm sorry, sister. You can call again. What happens is it seems that I don't know, there's a delay in your side of the audio, and as you can see, it keeps going back and forth. So let's try again. Just ask your question directly, and then mute yourself, please. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry, sister. You can call again. What happens is it seems that there's a delay in your side of the audio, and as you can see, it keeps going back and forth. So let's try again. Just ask your question directly, and then mute yourself, please.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
Okay, so my first question is, there's a hadith that says that, majority of the people in hellfire would be women. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that, and the reason for that is that they're ungrateful to their husbands and whatnot. My question is, if there's supposedly, if there was a chance for, let's say, a human being to choose their gender, right? Like, I'm not talking about what people do now. That's not what I'm talking about. But let's say, before a person was to be born into the world, and they were able to choose their gender. If a woman was, or if someone was told, if you are a man, you have higher chances of going to Jannah, and if you're a woman, you actually have higher chances of, not going to Jannah. Wouldn't any logical person choose being born a man? Once again, I'm not trying to be a heretic. I'm not talking about what people are doing today, but
Okay.
I just was wondering why, because if women have the psyche, or Allah has made us in a certain way that we perhaps might choose certain things, we might say certain things, we might act in a certain way. Wouldn't then we all choose to be born a man, because then it would be easier to get to Jannah? You'd be less predisposed.
Yeah, I'm sorry, sister. It's just, I don't know, something wrong with your mic or something. It's like overplaying it over and over again. Okay, so I understand your question. Well, first and foremost, no, because you don't have a choice in what you are born. You have a choice only in your actions. The Prophet ﷺ didn't make it an issue of woman or man or this. He said that it's in women's nature, okay? This is in women's nature to basically to have this ungratefulness towards their husband. And when the Sahabiyat, when they asked him, the Prophet ﷺ, about why most women, or the inhabitants of hell, most of them are women, he told them that this is a problem. Their attitude was not about, okay, I'm a woman, I'm a man. Their attitude was basically, I want to know what to do not to be like that. How do I control my behavior? I cannot control what I'm born into. For example, there's another hadith to understand that it's so easy for a woman to go to Jannah, to paradise, by just obeying her husband and doing the fard. So you have an easy way. It's very easy, actually. For men, it's not that easy. They have to do so many things to actually go to Jannah. So actually, it's also easy for a woman to go to Jannah if she does something. So you see, it's based upon the action. It's not based upon the gender. So if, as a woman, obey your husband and you do your fard, so you cannot just obey your husband, not do your fard, or just do your fard and not obey your husband. You have to do both. There's two actions that you must fulfill. Then it's easy. You can pick whichever gates of Jannah you want to enter through. Okay? So it's about the actions. And that's why the Sahabiyat, the women around the Prophet ﷺ, asked to know what are these issues so that they can be aware of and be wary of and not fall into it, inshallah. All right? Now, Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Is my sound clear, brother? Can you hear me good?
It is.
Okay, so my question is, like, in your opinion, should men have a goal or aim for having multiple wives? Like, is this the optimal way? Is this better than having one wife? I just want to elaborate quick and about what I think, and the one and only benefit I see for the man having multiple wives is being able to sleep with multiple women. And I'm not saying this is a small benefit, because we men are polygynous by our fitrah at the end of the day, but I don't know if that benefit overrates the responsibility that comes with it. So, we men should strive for a lot of things like becoming financially stable or being able to fight, but should we also strive for polygyny, like aka multiple wives? What do you think? Will this increase or decrease the quality of life? But yeah, that's my question, and may Allah bless you for the work you're doing, brother. This type of work is done by very few people, and the problem we are dealing with today are big. So yeah, Jazakallah khair, and take care.
Wa yakum. Barakallah fi, brother. May Allah bless you. Okay, so the brother asked about, is that something that men should strive for? And the answer is, it depends on the man. So for example, a person can ask, well, should a man, for example, get into, like, as an example, right? As an example only. People be like, should a man, get into fighting competitions? As an example. I'm not saying that they should. Well, it depends. Does he train? Is he good at fighting? Is he in good shape? Is he able to fight? Does he know? Or is a weak person who's going to get into a boxing ring, for example, and get hurt, can get really smashed, right? So a person has to have, of course, some ability. Can't just jump in and do stuff. But by default, men have been endowed with this ability. Question is, how does the surrounding and the circumstances influence that man's ability today? Right? Now, is it going to be perfect? Does he have to wait for some bells and some songs to be played in the background to mark that he is able to? No. I'm just again using, just for the lack of better words, just examples. But you know what I'm getting to, right? So a man has to have some ability. He has to have some endowed with certain, and he's been by Allah. But he also has to know himself and understand and stand his ground, have certain abilities, certain resources, it's not just about, okay, there's a benefit of me sleeping with, many women or something like that. That's not the only benefit. I would argue that there's a benefit of, for example, establishing a family or taking care of a woman. It's not always about the man. Because, for example, there's many sisters who also need intimacy, for example. Don't think that a woman, if she's alone, that she's an ice cube and that's it, she's not going to have any desires. So, yes, a man will satisfy his desires, but also he'll satisfy the desire of the woman who's alone, if not, and she might end up in haram. And he's also going to establish a family and have children. Or he's going to be the sutra of that woman or the protection of that woman. So there's a lot of other things to look at, not only from a perspective that the man is going to have multiple partners. I think this type of mentality is because we are in this hypersexualized society. Usually the first thing that comes to us is that we are thinking about sex only, or people think about sex only. Okay? So we gotta be careful with that. So there's a lot of benefits, alhamdulillah. And Ibn Abbas, Sa'ad ibn Jubayr radiallahu anh, he says that Ibn Abbas asked me, are you married? I replied, no. He said, marry, for the best person on this nation, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, of all other Muslims, had the largest number of wives. Okay, and this is Sahih Bukhari. So indeed the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, they valued polygyny and they believed it was a trademark of a man. But again, because they're able to, they're trying to take care of women. So it's a very sensitive situation because of our environment, because everyone is against it. So there's a higher chance of it failing today. There are higher chances of polygyny failing today because everyone's kind of against it. Everyone wants to fight it. It makes it very difficult for a man. Even if, let's say, he has the financial abilities or he has the physical strength to satisfy more than one woman, everyone's against it. His parents are going to be against it. The culture is going to be, the imam of the local masjid is going to be against it. The authorities are going to be against it. No one's going to be against, like, zina. Like, they'll be like, oh, it's not my business. But if he wants to marry, oh my God, yeah, the first wife is gonna be against it. Everyone's gonna be. So of course, is going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult, right? It's gonna be difficult. So, yani, if a person is able to, I believe it is something praiseworthy and it is important because it solves a problem. And the problem that it solves is that there's a lot of single women. Okay? There's a lot of single women. And as the brother's saying in the comments here, okay, I do agree with the brother that mosques don't really focus on taking care of single mothers or women who are single. And I think there's a misunderstanding, misalignment because society has been brainwashed into this monogamous mentality where there's this first wife only preference. So if someone marries on top of the first wife, they don't think about like, oh, hey, you're helping another wife or another woman, but you are destroying a family or something like that. But wait a second, there's that second or third woman also has her problems and her needs. So I thought we're supposed to help women. Oh no, because they look at it from, oh, only the guy will benefit. Oh, poor first wife, she's the victim. Okay, what about the second wife or the third wife potential? They're also victims of who knows what has happened to them. Maybe they lost their husbands. Maybe their husband ran away. Maybe their husband died. Maybe they just couldn't find a good man. Why is society always thinks from a first wife perspective? Why it's always that the first wife is a victim? Why is it? Maybe that first wife herself is going to get divorced and then, she's going to go through hardships and she'll end up being a second wife, or she'll be in the position of those women who are looking to get married and who have gone over their period of ignorance and arrogance and they're okay to get into polygyny. Now, I know that there's a lot of problems with polygyny. I know that there's a lot of difficulties, I told you, because there's so many people who are against it. But the solution is not to ban polygyny, it's to fix it, to keep working on it, keep fighting, keep trying to be, better at it. The mosque should like have courses on polygyny and should support, like for example, in certain Muslim countries, men who want to do polygyny are financially incentivized, meaning there's a sanduq of zawaj. It is a public fund that's funded by the government to help financially this men to take care of other women. So they'll get like a house and a land. They'll get a loan that's not riba based. They'll be given help with. I think there's also for support for mahar to pay the mahar. They'll get some child support for each child that they have because the governments are trying to get the men to marry the women and to have more children so they can increase the local population. So they're trying to fix it as opposed to like banning it and allow for prostitutions, for example, to flourish. They're going to try to work at it. Okay. So when I would say probably one of the hardest hurdles towards polygyny is financial, is money, right? So we got to be, again, I don't think you're going to fix problems of society by banning or fighting polygyny, as most people do. I think it will be fixed when society works towards educating, helping financially, doing more khutbahs about it, doing more lectures, helping with the vetting process to make sure that these men are not just hitting and running and just driving by and just marrying sisters and then dumping them within a week, right? Or something like, hey, sometimes marriages might not work, right? You try 1 year, 2 years, things fall out. It's normal. But there's some brothers who marry like 1 week and then they leave, or 2 days, they do their thing and leave, and they do it 10, 15, 20 times. This is a crime. This is a crime. All right. Well, these are the things that we have to fight when it comes to polygyny, not the actual thing itself. This is what I believe. Allahu Alam. Okay, Allahu Alam. Allahu Alam. No. All right. Great comments. MashaAllah. Great. Sister, I've been searching for a spouse for my daughter. Asked local masjid, no one's willing to help. Why can't they be involved in helping people do accountability? I'll tell you why. People have kind of pulled out because they don't want accountability. We're scared of accountability and responsibility. It's part of life, man. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have to be accountable. Everyone wants to deal with themselves. They don't want to be held accountable. Therefore, people are just rather pull out and just worry about themselves. That's not the concept of the ummah. And ta'awun al birri wa taqwa, to have cooperation towards bir and taqwa. If everyone's scared to take some responsibility, then yeah, no one's gonna help anyone. No doubt. No one wants to. Everyone washes their hands clean of anything. Okay? So that's not how it should be. Allah Alam, that's not the way it should be. And this is going to cause more problems, I believe. Because that's not how Islam is. There has to be. Why do you think that there's mas'uliyah or responsibility? Amana in Islam is such a thing because someone's going to have to step in that leadership position and make some decision and suffer the consequences if they have to. Right? It's just the way it is. No one wants to help. People do not want to help. I know some, very few. So yeah, it's a problem. Brother Mudassir, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Salatullah.
So, Walaikum salam. So I'm from Kashmir, India, and I just want to ask you, we are living a depressed life. If you are aware of the situation here, so in these times, our Maulvis, they are all doing the work of their personal belief. Some are Hanafis, some are Salafis, and they are only talking about do this and that. Nobody is talking about what is our general ambition should be to get the Islamic system. So most of the people here are living a depressed life. I just want to ask you, what are we going to do? What should we do in these times? It is the most occupied zone in the world. You can't feel the real freedom here. Even I'm calling you, if this call will be, going through the Indian agencies, I will be caught and put in prison. The leaders, we have no leaders here. I am a government employee. I am a teacher by profession. We are forced to, raise the flag of India on, and say their national anthem. So we are only living depressed life. I don't know how, what, what can I ask now? I just, want some positives. It is to be positive is sunnah, but we don't get positive things. Day by day we see. Once it was called the land of, pious people, this Kashmir. Now there are sex scandals, there is, alcohol, there is everything, immodesty is on the high, but we can't stop it. We have no authority to stop it. So
No,
that is why I just called you to get some positive. I've been watching you, but in the end, we end up in bed. If you have any sense, you end up, being depressed and frustrated. Can't see any help.
no,
People are just, those who are following Islam. They only talk about, pray 5 times, do fast, do give zakat. Nothing else than that.
no,
Brother, here is, there is 1 million Indian armies over us. If I
no,
am riding a bike, I was riding a bike today. Suddenly, army convoy came and they stopped me by side for 15 minutes to stop here. Unless the convoy is passed, then you can go. And we have accepted it. This is the reason. How to show people that this is not the real freedom which Islam, which Allah has given you.
no. Jazakallah
Mm,
khair, brother. May Allah bless you, inshallah. I'll answer this question in a second. Jazakallah khair, brother Munda, for your call. Alhamdulillah.
Okay,
May Allah protect you, brother.
thank you.
Please stay on. Please stay
Um,
on. Please stay on. I'll respond, okay? You just
o-
listen to. I'll close the call now, but I'll respond.
okay.
Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so brother was asking a very good question. And that's why I put now also this question about Palestine on, right? Akhi, we're living in difficult times, right? No one is standing for us, right? And that's why. But we also have to understand that we've kind of brought it upon ourselves as well. The whole world, not you, not this one, not me. But in the end, um, we we are getting a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to test our deen and to also show who's where. This is the reality. Like, people are trying to make us think that Islam is just a religion, just do your best, just pray, as the brother said, and that's it. And we're being dishonored, be it Kashmir, be it Palestine, be it the Rohingya, China, right? And everyone tells you, don't be careful, right? Like, just do your prayer. That's it. Don't worry about it. It's not going to change because people are going to keep taking and keep taking and keep taking. So we have to start first and foremost with ourselves, with our families. That's why we're preaching this, that there's got to be a change. The man have to change. The man have to start being man again. Like, how do you think you're gonna regain the victory of Islam if we're like weak, right? That doesn't mean we're gonna go and do weird stuff right now. That's not what I'm saying. Like, a lot of the people, they start doing these acts of whatever, terrorism, whatever people say, because they're so frustrated with the situation. But that's not going to solve anything. It just causes more problems. Right? We have to tackle the problem at the core and not lose hope. Like, you cannot lose hope. You cannot. And yeah, when I see people just talking about like, yeah, I want to be a good man, high value man, I want to do this, that. No, like, you want to be more than that. You want to really hope that Islam is going to come back. You want to hope that your change in yourself, in being a strong man, is that you want that inshallah one day Islam will be again on top. This is what it's supposed to be like. I mean, I can't say something else. And for those who try to say something else, like, no, we cannot. It's not me saying it, it's Allah is saying it. I'm just telling you what Allah is saying. Read the Quran. It's not like I'm trying to have some political agenda. That's not my business. But this is what Allah, and we have to believe in that. And we have to believe that this can happen one day. All right? And that's clear. When people like just sitting there doing nothing, we don't even pray anymore and making dua to Allah for a change to come. And the people is not going to stand up for you. Don't expect anyone to come and rescue you. No one cares about you. Come on, look around. Like, where people don't even talk in their lessons or in their lectures or their khutbahs about this stuff. Right? Again, I give a disclaimer. I'm not talking about doing crazy stuff. I'm not talking about breaking laws or this and that, because it's not gonna do anything. It's not, as the brother said, even if he's like talking now, you can get arrested or something. That's how bad it's gone. Even you cannot express your frustration. When it comes to violence or doing anything like that, no. Right? Look at Dr. Zakir Naik, for example. I mean, brother didn't even do anything. Right? They tried to pin him for this, try to pin him for that. Everyone left him and trying to label him as, for what? Just because he was inspiring people to be better Muslims? Like, come on. No, you have to today just be okay with everyone. Then people will accept you. No, I don't want to be okay with everyone. I don't want to. I want to be okay with what is right. It's a big difference between wanting to be okay with everyone and wanting to be okay with what is right and correct. Especially for Muslims, there should be no doubt about this. There should be no confusion about this. And it's sad when people are confused about it. SubhanAllah. Brother Zaid, Jazakallah khair for super chat. May Allah bless you. And please, guys, do support the super chat. Hit that button and I can see your questions faster. And it can help a lot in the dawah. Bidnillah ta'ala. Please do share, like, and subscribe. And let's get over 100 people. Inshallah, I know that it's morning for some, night for others. Alhamdulillah. All right, so Brother Zayd is saying, how can to start invest trade a 20-year-old? Sources. Okay, well, few things you can. Number one, always remember, you have to have a stream, an income stream. So some type of work. Start with work. Why? Because you need some cash flow. Okay, from that cash flow, you do the third rule. 1/3 you spend, 1/3 you save, 1/3 you invest. Monthly in small things. Okay, you can start with gold, for example. You can start with analyze and be careful because not all the things are haram by default. By default, in muamalat, in dealings and investments, everything is halal unless there is proof to show that it's haram. Okay, so for example, there are certain things that you can invest in stocks that are halal. You can do research. There are Islamic organizations that can advise you. You need to do research. There's brothers who I know who are sheikhs and who graduate from Medina and they invest in crypto, for example, cryptocurrency. But again, you have to make sure that it is a halal project. You have to do your research, right? So each month you invest a little bit, you save a little bit, and you spend a little bit, okay? This is the rule. Yeah. All right. Got brother Ibrahim on call. Assalamu alaikum, brother. By default, by dealings and investments, everything is halal unless there is proof to show that it's haram. Okay, so for example, there are certain things that you can invest in stocks that are halal. Brother Ibrahim, when you call and I accept your call, just start asking a question and then mute yourself because there's still lots of a lot of background noise, subhanAllah. All right, brothers and sisters, again, for the call, link is here on the screen. If you want to call, please share and like the video. And let's get back to the comments. If a woman decides to make a nikah and renounces some of her rights, for example, monetary support and so on, such as nikah still considered valid? Yes, it is considered valid. This is something that Sauda radiallahu anha practiced, and it is considered but she has to do it, not to be forced or pushed. This is her, if whatever, she might have a situation, the brother's situation, they agree, and she allows that to happen, then it is okay. No. A woman fears polygyny causes hardship fulfilling the rights of her husband. Can she ask for a divorce? Given she had also made it clear before marriage that she didn't want a co-wife, it depends, right? You have to be very honest about that. If it's going to cause like severe psychological damage and iman, there is an evidence for that in one of the sahabiyat who asked the Prophet ﷺ and said that it's affecting her iman. But some women today, it's out of arrogance. It's not that it's going to affect them. They're just angry, right? So first you have to try. So if the guy marries, like you can't just be like, okay, he's going to marry. And like, no, I'm going to have iman problems. You don't know. You haven't gone through it yet. So you can't just say, yeah, I'm going to have iman problems. You understand? So you have to go through it. And then if it's really like psychologically destroying you, like you have to be honest, not that you're like just yourself, self-sabotaging. Then, and people have to be honest. Look, you can fool people, but you can never fool Allah. So it's going to be on intention. Every deed is according to intention. You can't fool Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's just the way it is. Understand? So if you go into it and then you're having psychological problems, mental health problems, then okay, maybe then you can talk to an imam, you can explain to them. If they give you the khula, it's on them. But some women, I would say today, they don't even get into it. It's just the thought, it's the arrogance, it's the, like entitlement, and that's it. No. Barakallahu feek, Brother Matro, for the super chat. How much Quran can you listen per day for ruqya purpose? Can you go beyond the 3-day limit? If it's for healing, yes, you can read, Yani. It's actually better to read like from Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah Al-Imran, right? It's much better to do that than to just listen to it. But you can play it. You can play Ruqya Shar'iyya, for example. Selected verses that some scholars have compiled based on some hadith and evidence, and you can play that. But it's better to read it. Better to read it, inshallah. Okay? And you can read as much as you feel it helps you and so on. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Now, okay. What would you consider psychological problems? Like depression. Like you go into depression, you go into like deep depression, you start losing weight, you can't pray anymore, you just sporadically just crying, just all kinds of, you would know how you would feel. If it's just anger and just crying out of anger and jealousy, and that's not a justifiable thing. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Can you make a video series with help guide for people who suffer from the strong waswasa and tahara aqidah? That'll be very fast, inshallah. I'll try to. I've been having a lot of clients with waswasa, but definitely, guys, ruqya, please. Look at Sheikh Muhammad Tim Humble's ruqya, self-ruqya course. Search it on YouTube. Try to learn as much about self-ruqya as you can do, inshallah. Would you advise living with two wives in the same house? I would not. I would probably not. Depends though. Maybe if the girls are like I don't know, they're maybe mature and they're friends, could try it, but most likely it's very idealistic to think that they're gonna get along and they're gonna be okay, friends, and just co-wives and all that. Allah alam. Personally, I don't advise it. Guys, please hit that super chat, inshallah. I can see your questions faster, plus you're supporting Dawah. Jazakallah khair to brother Matro and to Zaid for the super chat. May Allah bless you guys. That's easier. Okay, so can you get intimate? What if your husband doesn't want to get intimate with you because he's afraid of getting you pregnant? What? That's totally wrong. He should get intimate with you. That's your right. As a woman, it's actually haram for him not to be intimate with you. It is him not fulfilling the rights. As per the hadith, the famous hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, when that Sahabi found the wife of the other one, she was unkept, and she said, my husband doesn't have a need for me. And then they took the matter to the Prophet ﷺ. He said that your wife has a right over you, and it was the right of intimacy. So meaning if you don't fulfill that right of intimacy, if you don't give her intimacy, and he lives with you especially, there's no reason for him not to, just because he doesn't want to get you pregnant, which is not right, then that is not wrong. I mean, that is, that is incorrect. He is making a sin. Now, okay, Brother Maaz, I'm going to connect you now. Just directly ask your question. Okay, even if you hear me with delay. Okay, Brother Maaz is going to be next, inshallah. How you can find good friends. I've drifted from my friends. Brother Muhammad Ismail, find friends at the masjid, ya akhi. Find friends in places that are good for you. All right. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Maaz. On.
Yeah, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you doing, brother?
Alhamdulillah.
The question I had was basically about the free mixing, and the free mixing I'm actually talking about is, when I'm with my relatives. So I come from like a Pakistani background, and I don't know, you might know of the cultural free mixing that goes on with our relatives, although it's quite respectful, but we're still sitting in the same room and sharing stories with each other, laughing with each other. So I mean, is there like a way I can probably explain to them with wisdom and avoid this as well? I don't know if you have experience with your clients or anything like that previously.
Yeah, so sadly, a lot of people don't respect, especially in like certain cultures, there's this like joint family systems. A lot of times, the brother of the guy is gonna be sitting with the wife of the brother, right? So it's like you got all these brothers living around in the same household, some married, some not married, and you are there with your wife in the household, and your wife is moving around. She has to obviously, contribute to cooking, cleaning. It's a joint family system, and
Yeah.
the brother-in-law is walking around like there's nothing. And the Prophet ﷺ warned against it. He called the in-law as death, right? Because his most can be fitna. And I do have clients where the wife of the guy is going to fall in love with the brother of the husband, and subhanAllah, and she starts idealizing, she starts comparing, and the guy obviously are going to be attracted to her. And sometimes, they just wear like not hijab in the house, they wear like the putta or something like that, right? Where they just
Yeah.
kind of cover. So it's not right. It's not permissible. Look, sometimes families are gonna meet. There's gonna be some salam alaikum, right? Just natural, organic interactions. As long as people are wearing hijab, it's just. But when you start sitting and making it a habit of like having these kind of gatherings, then this can lead to so many problems, man. So many problems. In the end, men are men and women are women. And the more
Mm.
time you spend with each other, the more you can get infatuated with each other, start liking each other. It's the fitna was. If it's once in a blue moon, you meet someone, salam alaikum, and respectfully, you just say salam to everyone, right? Because they're family. You might sit for, a few seconds, whatever, a few minutes, talk a bit, just respectfully say your salams to greet them, right? You help them with certain things, right? You find in the seed of the Prophet did interact with women from his society and sahabiyat, and people would come to his house and so on. But it was not like that. Just like, oh yeah, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, we meet, and it's like years and years and years go by, and people live together, and people just totally have no concept of hijab and haya. And what happens is actually people start getting so comfortable that they loosen up their clothes because they're like so comfortable,
Mm.
especially with cousins, for example. You hear this so
Mm.
much. Well, we grew up together. We're like brother and sister. No, you're not. You can marry each other, actually. Like they'll keep saying,
Mm.
but it's like he's like my brother. He's not like your brother actually, because he's your cousin, which means you can marry him. No, but we grew up together. It doesn't matter. It's even worse because you might have even an emotional attachment. You know each other so well. You're so comfortable with each other. So you gotta be careful with that.
Yes. So, like, is there, I don't know, a way where I could be uh, diplomatic? I know I have to avoid this, but look, if I try my best to be diplomatic and explain them in the best way, and still they don't understand, then okay, I've done my job. But
Yeah,
I
you've
need
done
to
your
find
job.
a wise way.
Yeah,
Sorry?
you've done your job. You've done your job. If you tell them, you try your best.
Uh-huh.
You just try to avoid those long gatherings and all that. You just say salam, show your face, be respectful. Yeah, you don't have to like go and make a scene or anything like that. It's not going to help. People are not going to change their mind. But if someone asks you like, "Hey, how come you don't sit with us?" Like, what's going on? And you'd be like,
Mm.
"Look, I don't feel it's appropriate. I respect all you guys. I understand that you guys, we're family, but there's certain things. There's a limitation. Who's mahram to you and who's not, right? Even though we're extended family, not everyone in the family is a mahram."
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think I can change the culture with my relatives by myself. Is there a way I can meet my male relative without meeting my female relatives? The only thing is, I might have to ask them for time separately,
Yeah,
and
just
many
be like,
people
"Hey,
would just
man,
go like,
let's have a guys' night. Let's have a guys' time. Why do we have to always be with the girls? Like let's just have a guys' time. I'm sure the guys will be like, yeah, man, let's do guys' time. Let's do some guys' activities. Let's have a man's meeting. Like just tell them, let's
uh-huh.
let's just do like boys stuff. Boys' night out. Boom.
But brother, this is probably more possible. If I'm meeting with my male cousins, if I'm meeting with say like elders, like my uncles and stuff, they won't get the concept of a boys' night.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
That's fine. But usually, akhi, with your uncles and stuff like that, you just say salam, a little bit
mm,
exchange. You don't really have like deep discussions. You just kind of sit there and drink some tea, and they'll speak and maybe
yeah,
talk a bit, and everyone else listens, right? So just give your respect and then take out. Just excuse yourself and leave.
cool, cool. There are just like two more points on this. I just didn't understand the part where someone responded to me with that, and I think you like covered this slightly before as well, that the Prophet ﷺ used to meet women, and there was this Jewish lady who invited him to his house. If he went there, um, the person said wasn't he free mixing and meeting with him? And you aren't coming and sitting with us. So, what is basically the understanding of that hadith? Because I'm sure it's not this, but what is it anyways?
Right. So again, it was not a customary thing that they meet every week or something like that, right? So the Prophet sometimes would be invited. He would take that. Always Sahabas with him all the time. He was never alone. There was things in public. People would bring him food in public. It was not like in the house. Sometimes you would talk to the women on the street if they'd ask him something. Women would go up to him and say stuff and ask him questions. So it was not like, astaghfirullah, just walk away. Like, actually, you don't see that in the hadith, okay? In the corpus of
Okay.
hadith, right? So he would, if anyone asked, any woman would come up to him and ask him a question, he would respond. He'd be like, astaghfirullah, woman, get away from me, you're a woman. There's never any hadith like that that I'm aware of. Allah, if anyone can point that out, we'll definitely consider. But he would listen to women's question. He would answer them. Women were covered, obviously. They would respect themselves. They would address him sometimes, most of the time politely, and that's it, right? Sometimes people would come to his house. Sometimes Aisha radiallahu would serve food. Sometimes she would get jealous and she would drop the food. Like we have this, and
Mm.
the Sahabas are there. They're seeing this. They are seeing this. So they're not like any, but she would come and go. Like she wouldn't be sitting around there. So and just be like, hey, how you doing? You're okay? Yeah, let's sit together. So there was interactions, but there was limitations. There was respect, right? Free mixing means free mixing. You just have no limitations, and it can lead to so much haram. Okay, that's not permissible.
Cool. Okay. I think that pretty
MashaAllah.
much explains it. It answers
Barakallah
the
fikum.
other question I had as well. Sorry?
Inshallah. Inshallah, bro.
Okay. Okay, bro.
Okay.
Take care. Assalamu
Barakallah
alaikum.
fikum. Alaikum
Jazakallah.
salam wa iyyak. All right. Jazakallah khair. Barakallah fikum. All right, brothers. So again, we are live. Please share the link, like the video, and hit that super chat. I can see your questions faster, and it supports the dawah. Also, for those who are online, May 13th, there is a course for sisters only. It is Male Psychology 101. What's in our brains? What's in this head? How do we think? What's up with guys these days? What's in our minds? And how do women get to understand men a bit better? This is for sisters only. It's about a 3-hour course. You can find the details on my Instagram, inshallah, on the link there in the bio for those who don't know the Instagram, inshallah. All right, Taha, Jazakallah khair for the super chat. May Allah bless you. Again, guys, please hit up that super chat. All of you can. Helps a lot, and I can see your questions faster. Okay. What makes a good joke? That I joke amongst friends. It has to be a truthful joke. Okay, the Prophet ﷺ said, do not lie, right? Do not lie, even if you are joking, right? The Prophet ﷺ said that لمن كان محقا وإن كان مازحا. The person who is truthful, even though he is joking. So even if you're joking, make a funny joke and make a truthful joke. What joke? I don't know. I'm not good at jokes, right? But I don't know. Just look for truthful stuff. Don't lie. Don't lie in jokes. And the Prophet used to laugh, and the Sahabas used to laugh. So yeah, alhamdulillah. Now, Jazakallah khair. Ibrahim is saying about getting married soon. How many rounds of intercourse should I have with a virgin? Is more than one round would hurt her if she is a virgin? Good question. Depends, Akhi. Right? It depends. You guys have to just don't push. Just be normal. Just organically see how you guys are gonna feel. If intimacy is gonna work well for that night on that night, then khair. You don't have to consummate the marriage. If she's maybe afraid, or a woman who's a virgin might be obviously a bit shy, and she might not be that yet easy, and opening her up is not that simple. It hurts. So it has to be a positive experience for her. If it's too painful and too rough and too harsh and just pushing because we have to do it, it might be traumatic. Gotta take it easy, right? The Prophet said, be careful, and he compared the women said with glass, with the glass. They're like glass, very, very fragile, right? So take it easy, see how it is. Maybe you'll end up, I don't know, doing 5 times that night or 10 times, whatever, whatever, or maybe one time, maybe none. Maybe it's just gonna be hugging and cuddling and kissing because she's a bit, shy or scared. So just organically, don't push. Just let it be natural, inshallah. No. Okay, we got Brother Imran. Brother Imran, please directly ask right away because I don't know if your audio is going to be good or not. So go ahead, Bismillah.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Oh, I couldn't see you, so I thought I was off. Yeah. So I wanna ask question. So I'm sure you've heard this issue before with regards to uh, men getting married and sisters, like people telling sisters, if you don't want your husband having multiple wives, put in a nikah contract. I'm sure you heard that kind of issue. There's another like idea I've heard from another guy. It's a bad sounding idea where it's like he was given the halakha at an MSA about relationships. He mentioned a number of the rights. He didn't mention all of them, but rights and responsibilities of husband and wife. Yeah, he didn't mention all of them, and we were talking about or he mentioned it was mentioned about women working after getting married, and he's like, he tells sisters like, oh, if you want to work, he didn't specify what kind of work, just work after marriage. He said put in a nikah contract. So it's like these days it seems people are only telling sisters to, it seems like, weaponize the nikah contract just to get whatever they want, and no one mentions that reminds the brothers they could put conditions too. So is the nikah contract really like unlimited? Like if she wants to work a haram job but her husband prevents her from doing that, like is he sinful? Because even though she put it in a nikah contract, like does he have to abide by that?
Okay. Thank you, brother.
Or
Jazakallah khair for your question. Inshallah,
yeah,
I will answer it. Barakallah fiqh.
cool. So like,
Alaikum assalam. Okay, that was a great question from Brother Ron. Yeah, so indeed, I don't think the sisters are weaponizing the nikah contract. I think it's these so-called brothers, these sheikhs, are weaponizing the nikah contract and empowering the sisters in the wrong way to use this weapon. The ones loading it and making it into a weapon are these brothers. May Allah guide them. And the sisters, of course, when they say, well, the sheikh so-and-so said I can do it. Of course well, what do you think a woman's going to do? Of course she's going to use the nikah contract. See, when the ulama used to talk about this, they never thought that there come a time when people are going to use this in the 21st century to limit men or to even use it towards haram. And the brother said, for example, what if she's going to work a haram job? What if it's going to be something that the guy is totally against? So, alhamdulillah, we have principles in Islam that supersede these contracts. So if you put a contract, but it's against Allah, and what do you think? Oh, I have to stick to my contract because the Muslim is about his contract? No. It's because the Prophet ﷺ told us, لا طاعة المخلوق في معصية الخالق. There's no obedience to the created in disobedience to the Creator. Clear. It overrules every kind of thing or contract you want to make. So you can make 1,000 contracts. I don't care. If I don't like the job that you're gonna want to be in, I'm not gonna allow you to work. Right? And brothers should not accept these contracts. See, it started with polygyny. Now it's going towards what? Towards jobs. Next thing is gonna go is towards hijab. Well, I want to put in a contract. You're not gonna tell me what to wear. And the guy's like, oh, okay, it's so hard to get married today, so let me accept it. Next thing you're gonna know is that, I don't know, well, you're gonna have to raise the children. And I'm gonna put in the contract because I want to fulfill my career aspirations. So you are gonna be the one who's gonna raise the children. So, like, what else? Okay? So the concept itself is wrong, and it's gonna keep progressing towards destruction, right? You keep encouraging people to use this to weaponize the nikah contract. Yani, subhanAllah. If you look at the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, yani, how many times do we find details of like a nikah conditions and stipulations in the marriages of the Prophet ﷺ or the Sahabas themselves? There might be some, but it was not like that was the first thing. What can I put in the contract to limit him? Like which Sahabi put something like that, right? It doesn't mean it doesn't take into consideration people's feelings and emotions, that people are going to be jealous and so on. It happens, no doubt. 100%. 100%. Islam is not just like dry, cold, hot, black, white. There's always going to be people's feelings taken into consideration, but it's not the main driving force. And sadly, I blame this phenomenon on people, imams, who are trying to gather female validation and female following. Like, just say things the way they are, explain, understand. Not all the situations are the same. Some people can, some people cannot. Trust me, there's lots of women who are okay, or okay. I'm not saying they're like jumping up and down. Woohoo, polygyny is my first option. No, but they're okay with it. They will try it. They'll try their best to work with it. Or they'll try their best to obey and not to go to work and not to mix and not to. There's again a difference. There's a difference between a woman who needs to go to work because she has no one to provide for her. And everyone's kind of abandoned her. There's a difference between that and a woman who's her husband's cool, he's gonna provide for her, and she's disobedient because she wants to be a man and she wants to show to the world that she can be a boss babe and a CEO and she can compete with all the men. She wants to prove herself. It's a difference. There's lots of sisters who have no one to support them, who have, the community is not going to help them. The imam of the mosque is not going to help them. No one's going to help them. Of course, someone will have to work. They don't want to, but some have to. There's a difference between that sister and the one who's just disobedient. She can't wait to like go out there just once. That's her intention, is to mess about and mix and do this and show how manly she is and how, to be all over and be validated by everyone, to show that she can do it. It's a big difference. I would worry more about these brothers who are pushing this kind of stuff there, because they don't understand the damage that they're doing. They don't understand that, some sisters are going to take this and they're going to justify it based on what these guys are saying. And they're going to cost them. So for the brothers, when a sister starts giving all these nikah points and contract stipulations or, different, they just tell her, peace out, as-salam, jazakallah khair. What is this? This is not, this is not like, even though the nikah is a contract, yeah, this is not like where you impose yourself and you try to play it smart, right? You're gonna try to trick me because, the nikah is binding, it's a contract. The Sheikh so-and-so said the conditions are valid, so now you're gonna use that to try to outsmart me. In the end, I think brothers have to reclaim like, you are the one who makes the final decision, okay? No. Why is every single woman a feminist and wants to work, get a PhD? Is over for men who want gender traditional wives at home? Hey, if men want gender traditional wives at home, they have to be gender traditional men then. It's also our fault, yeah? So we have to take a lot of accountability that we allowed for this to come to this point. right? We allow for this to reach this point. Okay? So the women have been pushed and they're pushing themselves, and yeah, most of them want to be like a man, and yeah, so it's hard. There's so much at work right now at stake. Brother Ali, Assalamu alaikum. Brother Ali, Brother Ali. Okay, I think you're not on there. How to stop being a lazy loser? Good question. You have to work hard, push. Sometimes you don't feel like doing stuff, man. Stick to the deen. Stick to the deen first and foremost. Ask Allah to help you first and foremost. Stick to the deen. Keep pushing. Don't give up. Don't think Islam is just I'll pray, I'll read some Quran, I'll listen to some videos. No. Gotta get up there, start doing stuff. Start doing stuff. Work hard. Hamad Aziz, Jazakallah khair for the super chat, guys. Please hit up the super chat, inshallah. All right, that's helps a lot, and I see your questions faster. All right, advice for wedding night: fancy car and hotel. Yeah, it's fine if you can afford it. There's nothing wrong with that, inshallah. Nothing wrong with that. Barakallah fik. If you have a nice hotel, you book a nice room, you rent a nice car, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? It's not israf. If you gotta just get a nice car and a nice hotel and live, just have a nice memorable night. If you can afford it. But if you're gonna go out of your way to spend and like really get into a debt, or it's gonna be difficult, don't, man. It's not, there's no need for that. Just make the actual act memorable. Right? Just keep in mind that's the first time you guys are gonna connect. Make it memorable. It's gonna set a pace. You have to be a gentleman. You have to be a muttaqi. You have to fear Allah. You have to, deal with that woman in a proper way, because you're gonna basically enter her. It's you doing that to her, not her to you. Women basically are more vulnerable because they have to open up. You're the one who's gonna go in, right? So you have to do it, as the Prophet ﷺ said, in a kind way, in a good way, at the same time, properly. So that, obviously the connection is going to be good, not some weak connection. Okay, you have to be proper men. Treat that night as a serious night. It's not a joke. Don't be scared, but, work on it properly and, yeah, enjoy that night, man. Alhamdulillah. Just let it be natural, organic. Brother Anzar, Jazakallah khair, man. May Allah bless you, Allah. May Allah bless you. Alhamdulillah. Brother Ibrahim, Barakallah feek, brother. May Allah bless you. You guys been asking some questions. Alhamdulillah. There's another question about intercourse. How long a man should wait until he should make ghusl? Because drops coming still no longer time. Does a man should wait for 10-20 minutes? Because the Prophet ﷺ said that if a man has intercourse with his wife, wants to go back to her again, that he should go and urinate first, and he can make wudu. So make wudu. It depends. You don't have to wait. It depends on you. Like some guys can get up back after like 5 minutes, that refractory period. Some cannot. It depends. But go to the bathroom, make wudu. So urinate, make wudu. Then go back to bed. And if you want to approach your wife again, you feel like you have the stamina and the ability, then you can do so as many times as you can. As many times as you can. It's all good. It is all permissible. It's all permissible, inshallah. Barakallah feekum. May Allah bless you guys. Time, inshallah. So yeah, let's alhamdulillah, great discussion, great questions, guys. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair, brother Manzar, for the super chat again. Guys, hit up that super chat, support the dawah, and I can see your questions faster. Barakallah. What's your advice for young men addicted to video games? All right, so see, a lot of people might say that, oh man, come on, bro, just get off it. It's so, come on, man, stop being a child. It's not that simple when you're dealing with an addiction. So what you can do is, some video games are, and it's okay, like you can entertain yourself once in a while, but what happens is it can become haram if it takes away from the prayer, it's wasting time, and so on. What you can do, maybe you could have it that, okay, on the weekend, one day you play a bit more, but you abstain throughout the week so you don't waste your time. So let's say Saturday you make your entertainment game day, and maybe connect with friends so you guys can also like have it as a social thing, right? Where you talk and stuff like that. But I wouldn't make it more than a couple of hours. Like even that is, probably push it. Many of ulama would say it's haram because you're wasting time, right? But you want to like just cut back. So if you're like working the whole week and so on, and you're like, okay, you know what? On Saturday I'm gonna play, for like an hour or two with my friends. At least you're looking forward to that, and you know that you gotta get it. But if you just like gonna try to cut it off full because you're addicted to it, it's gonna be very difficult, very, very difficult to just cut off. You might probably, return to it very fast. So just leave it for one day of the week and you look forward to it, and that's it. It's like you reward yourself with that that time. You work hard throughout the week and then you reward yourself with that, inshallah. Now, okay. Barakallahu feek. Brother Modern Dao is saying how to deal with autistic children in Islam. Right. So I think sadly the Muslim world is not doing very well when it comes to autism and mental health. There's a lot of shame in the world, in Muslim societies. Now, it's not Islam, Muslims. There's a big difference between Islam and Muslims. We're way behind the Western world when it comes to dealing with autistic children. And the Prophet ﷺ said that if a person leaves weak progeny, he said it's upon me to take care of them, subhanAllah. Look at that. So the Ummah as a collective is responsible for children with autism, people with mental health issues, and sadly we're so far behind. Like we don't have strong support and strong organizations to deal with it from an Islamic perspective. To show that rahmah and that mercy, but also constructively help him and understand that they need that. There were people at the time of the Prophet and before him. For example, there was one Hanif, or a monotheist, who used to take care of orphans. And okay, they're not autistic, but if you think about what's like autistic children, a lot of times they are somehow marginalized and they are, I wouldn't say necessarily weaker, they're just different. And because the world has to like put you in some box or a label, and then there's this label that's been created for them, they're not normal. I don't necessarily, the more I learn about human psychology, the more I disagree with these labels. They're different, but they're good at some other stuff. For example, a lot of autistic kids have issues with social interactions, but they're geniuses in other fields in which a so-called normal person wouldn't be, right? So their filters when it comes to social interactions might be very different than ours. And sometimes, Allah, man, that might be something more genuine. Because for a so-called normal person, they know not to say this because they're going to upset that person or they're going to be too direct or too honest. As for an autistic person, like, I don't like you, you suck. Get out of my face or something like that, which is considered rude under social norms. But for them, there's like, I just want to say what I feel, right? So I don't know. It's quite hard to agree with a lot of these modern day boxes that have been created to label people and to put people in, right? So how to deal with them? Deal with them with care. See what their strengths are. All of them have specific field that they're strong in. Okay, a specific field that they are strong in. Some of them are like history. Some of them are they get fixated on I don't know, they get fixated on certain things, but they're geniuses at it, right? Their memories are really good. They pay attention to details. So learn that and feed that. Let them develop that interest. Okay. And don't force them in stuff that they're not, just help them maybe to deal with social issues, how to, coach them in how to take care of them, self-management, issues of tahara, of, cleanliness and so on. Sometimes they have issues with that. No. All right, brothers and sisters, inshallah, we have about 20 minutes, inshallah, for these calls. So let's continue. Please hit up that super chat, guys. I can see your questions much faster. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, may Allah bless all of you for your support and for your help. And wa alaikum salam to all of you who are saying salam. Sometimes I don't respond to all the salams, but may Allah bless all of you. And now we got Brother Ibrahim. Brother Ibrahim, salam alaikum. Let's continue. Please hit up that super chat, guys. I can see your questions much faster. There is still some background noise. Anyway, if you guys can see, the link online on the screen is the one for the call, inshallah. Please ask your call and then hang up so I can respond to it. Ask your question. Brother Ibrahim. Brother Ibrahim, salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. So I have a question regarding so in your wedding day, how to deal with people of like desire or like
some background noise. Anyway, if you guys can see,
can you hear me now?
the link online on the screen is the one for the call, inshallah.
Can you hear me?
Ask your call and then hang up so I can respond.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Wa alaikum salam. So I have a question regarding so in your wedding day, how to deal with people of like desire or like
Background noise. Anyway, if you guys can see.
can you hear me now?
Okay, sorry guys. I'm not sure why today there's this background that keeps repeating. So even if I keep talking, you guys just ask your question. As soon as you jump on the call, you're accepted straight up. Just say your question, then I'll respond to it. Brother Ali, please. There's this background keeps repeating. So even if I keep talking, ask your question. As soon as you jump on the call, you're accepted straight up. Just say your question. Brother Ali.
Assalamu alaikum, can you hear me? Assalamu alaikum, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me?
I can ask your
Yes?
question, yes.
Okay. I have like 1.5 or 2 years left of studying, and I've been thinking about marriage. So should I make the steps now or after 1 year or when I'm done and I might have a job? So when do you think we should start, the search? Thank you. Jazakallah khair.
Wayakum, Brother Ali. Okay. Brother Modern Dao is saying they need to shut off YouTube when they get on. Yes, please do shut off YouTube when you get on and just directly ask your question, guys. As soon as you see that you've been accepted, ask a question. Even if you hear me delayed saying yes, no, assalamu alaikum, just directly ask the question, please. I do believe that you should get married, even if you have 1 or 2 years of study. It shouldn't stop you from getting married. Okay, it will probably help you in your studies to focus. I've said many times, my solution to the community is for parents to support their children. The same way they're paying for their fees in university, the same way they can help with the marriage. Don't make it difficult, guys. Help. Maybe you're not going to move in right away. It's okay, fine. But at least you're halal. You can go outside to a park, go for a walk, hold hands. You could even be intimate. Okay? It's halal now. You know you have someone, as opposed to always being turned on and dealing with shahawat and desire, and sometimes you cannot focus, both men and women. So yes, you can get married. I believe and it takes time, by the way. Just because you're gonna make niyyah or intention and try to get married today, doesn't mean that it's gonna work right away. Might take 6 months, might take a year. So start, inshallah. Make intention, as the Prophet said in Hadith, that it's upon Allah to help the person who wants to pay their debt and the person who wants to get married. Now, all right, brothers and sisters, we have about 15 minutes, inshallah. Let's get some more questions in. The call link is on the screen. If you call, please just ask your question right away because there's a delay. And hit up that super chat, guys. Helps and supports the da'wah. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair to all the ones who have done that. Again, this link is on the screen for those who want to call. And Jazakallah khair for Manzar, for Rahim Da, Drame, Manzar again, Ammar, Barakallah fikum, and Talha, Barakallah fik, ya akhi, may Allah bless you, and Macho, may Allah bless you, Brother Zaid, Karaimeh, may Allah bless you, and everyone else, alhamdulillah, may Allah bless all of you. Again, let's, if I've forgotten everyone, please forgive me, and all right, so the link is on the screen. Can I marry a woman if she openly tells me that she only accepts Islam for my sake? Circumversion to Islam ballot. It's a good question. See, the Prophet ﷺ, there was a man who came to the Prophet ﷺ and he asked him for sheep. Indeed, it was sheep. And he took Shahada, and the Prophet ﷺ gave him sheep. And he was screaming, going, people embrace Islam because Muhammad does not fear poverty. So the Sahaba say, Ya Rasulullah, yani, what is this guy saying? So he said, leave him because Islam will enter his heart and take over. So sometimes some people, might embrace Islam for different reasons, as long as not hypocritical, as in they're trying to hurt Islam. And some people convert for marriage, and subhanAllah, I've seen it many times that the sisters who convert for marriage, they sometimes become better than the brothers. So recently, I was with a brother in Norway. He was telling me about one sister who, his friend actually, he was a Muslim brother. He married his sister, and he was not the good Muslim. And she also married just for converted to Islam just for the marriage. She became good Muslim, divorced the brother because she said, you're not a good Muslim. And because of that, that woke the brother up, and he's a good Muslim himself, but he lost the girl, subhanAllah. She don't want to be with him anymore. But alhamdulillah, it was great that at least he woke up, and he's a good practicing brother right now, mashallah. Right? So yeah. Sister Hoda is saying, I have a 13-year-old son, wondering there's a similar trace to Muslim alpha men, but for young men. I will record that inshallah soon. I'm going to start recording a Muslim alpha junior class, inshallah. It's going to start probably I'm going to record it next month, inshallah. May Allah bless you. Now, all right. RA, may Allah bless you for super chat. To be honest, bro, I really despise this age we're living in, social media and this real scrolling. Yep. I don't want a wife who's infatuated with it, but I also don't want to be an outcast. I totally agree with you, man. Any tips on what to do, how to find a pious wife who isn't self-obsessed with social media? Man, it's tough. I believe all of us have been influenced by social media, especially women, because they're more easy to influence. They start thinking about it, comparing, they're so into it. It's very, very hard, because yes, they are self-obsessed. There's a lot of narcissism, a lot of selfies. It's a system that's been created to make women feel that they have less worth, always to compare themselves, to be obsessed with certain standards of beauty, and make them feel depressed because they're not achieving those standards. And yeah, it's tough. So I would say a very good green flag for a good pious woman, inshallah. You still have to vet her, you never know. But it's no social media presence, no pictures, no extreme, always scrolling, always being on Instagram, TikTok. Like if you're not selling something and making money from it. If you're not doing dawah, like you're releasing videos and educating people, like why would you even be on social media? It's like if you know how it affects you, it's not good for you. Like it's not good for me, but I'm here because I need to share something. I need to fight a certain battle. If I wouldn't be doing this stuff, I wouldn't want to be on Instagram or social media. Like for people to tell me that I have no social media, I'm like, man, you're so smart. Like you're blessed. So maybe make it one of the first criteria is that if a woman doesn't have, or even if she has social media, but it's a very weak presence, no pictures, no posts, no nothing, no validation, no obsession with this, selfies, and maybe that's a good way to start there, inshallah. Yeah. Okay, Sunni Shia marriage. I don't think it's good. I haven't seen good things come out of it. Advice on how to deal with porn addiction. Really try my tazkiyah because it's not just like so simple that you just stop it, right? Try my tazkiyah. You need a support group to help you, inshallah, and to continue to support you as you're going through the struggle because you need to detox. And I would say, just remember, and you're destroying yourself and your chances of getting married and ever being able to please a woman. A man who has porn addiction is not able to fully express his sexuality on his wife, to take that full desire to the full limit to please her. So he's going to be very weak in his sex. He's going to be very weak in his intimacy. He's not going to have strong ability and desire, continuous desire to fulfill his wife and to fulfill himself because he's gotten it somewhere else. It's like misfiring. It's like just a waste. May Allah protect. Okay, Sister Sam, I've been waiting to get married, inshallah. Done everything, and the men who are already married. I'm not interested in polygamy. I'm 47. I don't know what to say, sister. May Allah help you. I mean, polygamy is a solution to people like yourself. Inshallah, I pray that you find a single man. But polygamy, again, is not just for men to have more wives. It's a solution sometimes for women themselves. Okay, so I pray that you find someone, inshallah. Okay, we just got a few more minutes, inshallah, brothers and sisters. Hit up that super chat again, guys. I can see your questions much faster. Again, the calls have not been so good today because of connection issues, I guess. Right? So I apologize for that. I think I've taken some of the brothers on call already, so I'm not going to take any more calls today. Please forgive me, but I'll take more chats. My porn addiction is worse when I'm lonely or angry. How do I stop if I'm unmarried and have high desires? You can't. If you're, like, you have to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first and foremost, but it's very, very difficult because it's linked to a innate desire. It's in you. Everyone has the desire to be intimate. Of course, when you are angry, right, and lonely, you're gonna have this, it's like a coping mechanism. You have to fear Allah, okay? You have to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And yeah, you gotta just like try your best to fast, to pray, but marry as soon as possible. Why are you single? Why are you unmarried? Even sometimes, like if you're married and you have someone helps, right? Even if you're not with them or something like that, you're not yet together. So, like you have to first and foremost know that you have to fear Allah. You have to pray to Allah to help you, to stay away from it. Be careful of those times that trigger you and get you to use that as a coping mechanism. And try your hardest to get married. Try your hardest to get married as soon as possible. It's a good question here. Can men stipulate conditions in nikah contract? If we can do this, what should you recommend? Yeah, you can put in a nikah contract, for example, that she should be a traditional wife who's going to prioritize the Islamic values first, and that she should take care of the children and prioritize the husband, and that she should cook and clean, and that she should cover herself properly. Okay, so yeah, you can also. I told you, you can give them a taste of the medicine. If the imams are really pushing for these contract stipulations and nikah, conditions, then give them a taste of the medicine. Start putting, as men, those basic rights that you have that have not been fulfilled by the modern Muslim woman, because she thinks she's entitled and she doesn't have to do that. And it's, feminism has molded her brain into that. So yeah, indeed, I do encourage men now to start being more specific on those responsibilities that they want from their wife, and they can put in nikah contract. Huda, jazakallah khair for the super chat. Yes, so I will be doing that, inshallah. As I said, I will start recording a Muslim Alpha Junior class. I will start recording. I should probably release it by maybe a month or two. I'll try my best to finish it as soon as possible, inshallah. So I will be doing that, inshallah, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Jazakallah khair. And they'll be for like kids who are under 15. I would say anyone over 15, they can already even 14, 15, they can start taking the Muslim Alpha Men course because they're already men by Sharia. They're already men. They are already men. A lot of stuff that I apply, like for example, there'll be a lot of the parents are a bit worried because there's that section on intimacy in the Muslim Alpha Men course. But the thing is, a lot of what we see, kids who are addicted to pornography and they know about sex are in the age range of 12 and above. They start around the age of 12. So if they would get proper education around this issue, then maybe it'll help them. Allahu alam, right? But definitely, I'm going to start towards. And I will be talking about pornography and the dangers of it, inshallah, in the course. And that's why this problem with pornography. It's the solution of the 21st century for those who don't want to get married. But it's not a solution. It's actually the slow death. It's like death through 100 paper cuts. Yeah. All right. Again, barakallahu fikum. May Allah bless all of you. Any last questions? Please hit up, guys, the super chat. I can see your questions faster. Support the dawah. Everyone's on, alhamdulillah. It helps us to continue going and keep doing these, inshallah, these broadcasts. Again, thank you for all of you. You guys can also share these video when it's done and post it on your Instagram, social media, and so on. More people can benefit from it. And yeah, do subscribe to the channel. And you can also join the membership. All right, we're going to end it then. If there's no more, I'll just last one here. Elaborate on the Sunni Shia marriage. See, there's different aqidas. Okay, for the Sunnah, I mean, we love the Prophet Prophet, like we don't have an issue, but they hate the Sahaba. Okay, they hate the Sahaba. You understand? So it doesn't work. They curse the Sahaba. It's not gonna work. It doesn't work, man. It's against our aqidah. Right? Now, his brother's been really asking this question many, many times. How old am I? What do you guys think? How old am I? Guess. Let's play a game. You guys can type the age. Right? The brother's been asking this question, I think, at least 5 times, so I'm not trying to be. Okay, so what do you guys think? How old am I? You guys can guess. Don't worry, I won't get upset. You guys shoot whatever numbers you want. How old am I? Guess. 37 to 40. All right. No, don't give me ranges. Give me a number. Let's give a number. Whoa, 51. Yes. All right. 40, 51, 42, 40s, oh, 38. Okay. 43, 45, 37. Okay. 49, mashallah. 26. Allah, Allah. Come on, bro. 39. Bro Ibrahim, man. Come on, bro. 26. Yeah, mashallah. 44, 35. Okay, 35, 36, 43, 41, 41. Okay. 42. Okay. Good ones. Uh, so you act like 60, but you're 36. Uncle, you're 40. I'm an uncle now. Okay. I've been officially become an uncle. Subhanallah. All right, uncle. All right. 43. All right. All right. Khalas. We'll leave it at this, huh? We'll keep it a mystery, inshallah. All right. You guys are close, but people are off. Khair, inshallah. May Allah bless all of you. جزاك الله خير سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته